This is the video review for Transformers Alternity Bumblebee. He's technically AO3. This is the yellow version, or Bumblebee, as he's known. There is also the red cliff jumper version, but we'll get to him in a minute in the next review. Like I said, he's a Suzuki Swift. Rolls, rubber tires, very nice little model of a car. And one of the things that's neat is they've done on previous Alternities, but you can open up the hood. You can see the engine there inside the hood, and if you lift up this little engine piece, you can see the guns stored there. We'll get to those more later on. The trunk opens, so you can open up the trunk. You can kind of see Bumblebee's head in there. We have the trunk storage space. You can see the back shelf of the thing, which is very nice. But also the front door is open, and again you can see the seats in there. It's kind of hard to get an angle on this, but there are seats in there. And even better, the back door is open. There's actually a full, you open these up, and there's actually back seats. There's actually a full back seat area in there, which is kind of cool. And they didn't have to do this. These doors don't open for actually, none of these doors actually open for transformation, so just a neat feature. The hood and the trunk do open for transformation, but you'll see that in just a second. But just a very neat little Suzuki Swift car model. Now, transformation, we want to go ahead and open up the trunk, or the hood, not the trunk, sorry. Open up the trunk, or hood, lift up the engine piece, and then we want to take this section and pull this legs out like that. And then we come down here, and you want to lift these front headlight panels up, and then fold these yellow panels down at the hinge. You just go ahead and separate the legs, and then you want to take the wheel and separate it here and fold it down and around, and then continue to fold the fold this yellow piece down like that. So you should extend the leg to look about like that. And then you want to fold this piece in. And push that flat. And then the same over here. Do all that. Get these down. There we go. Once you've got that done, you come back here, flip out the heel piece right there on his foot. You already kind of see him taking shape here. And next order of business is you want to come back here, open up this trunk and lift this piece all the way up, pull this piece down, and then what you're going to do is you're going to want to pull his legs out, waist even further down so it snaps. Push this window in, and then this little gray silver piece here is going to snap onto some posts there on the inner body, and you just have to push it all together so that pushes in and snaps into place, and fold that hood down. Then you want to open up these panels like this, just lift those doors up, and then you want to come back here, split the back of the car, and once you've done that, go ahead and fold the arms down and around. Push this little piece. This piece will be sitting up like this. Push that down like that. Fold the arms down. Fold the panel around, and then you rotate his fist at the wrist to form the arm. Do the same thing over on this side. Fold it up and around. And then you want to take this whole top piece, flip it all the way around to the back, fold that under if you want. His wings fold that far back. You can leave them up against the body. If you want to fold them back, get them out of the way, you can. Then you want to fold this piece down, and then fold down his Autobot symbol. Fold down his head and flip his horns out. And there you have Bumblebee in robot mode. He's actually quite a cool little figure. A lot of people were complaining about the chest area. I mean, he does have kind of a bulky chest, but it really isn't. I mean, if you look at it from the side, it really isn't that bad. I mean, it doesn't really stick out a lot further. I don't know if just pictures caught it from a bad angle or what, but I mean, he really isn't like super chubby or fat. The way the windshield collapses up and pegs in, and this folds down, he's actually a pretty nice representation of Bumblebee. I was kind of expect. Oh, you want to flip these kneecaps down as well. I saw the pictures. I knew I had these pre-ordered. I saw the pictures. I was kind of getting a little, almost canceled my pre-order. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about them, and I'm really glad I waited. I really, really am, because pictures just don't do him justice. He really is a nice little figure and a great addition to the alternity line. I also mentioned earlier. I mentioned he had his guns, and they end up right here on the inner shins or thigh. I guess it was more the shins. The thighs are more up here. And they both come off. I'm just going to pull off one to show you. But you can store them there in robot mode, or you can pop them off. Aside from which side the peg's on, they're both exactly the same gun. They both look like this. And they can slide into his hands, and he has a couple little pistols. And Cliff Jumper's tech specs actually refer to his gun as a gas discharger or glass gas. But basically it's a glass gas gun from the old tech specs, which I think is cool. But yeah, just a nice. I mean, he really isn't fat or chubby. He looks that way in a lot of the pictures, but he really is a nice, sleek little figure here. Wide, certainly, but I mean, he evokes Bumblebee. And just to get a quick comparison here he is with old original Bumblebee, who also from the front, I mean, really, if you look at it proportionally, he's not really any chubbier than old Bumblebee, and in fact, because it's lifted up a little bit and kind of angles down, he actually looks a little less chubby than the old Bumblebee. So there's that. Oh, I flipped in the heel there accidentally. So there we go. He does in fact stand very well. I'm just, in all my moving him around, I'm loosening some bits and pushing him down. There's Bumblebee, and here's a quick comparison to him with the classics Bumblebee. So, I mean, it definitely evokes the Bumblebee feel. Very nice, nice figure. And again, you can move these if you want to move those back a little bit. You can. And I think a lot of it too is just the solid yellow. And even then, I mean, just looking at this on camera versus looking at this through the camera and then looking up above it and looking at the actual figure, this looks way wider on camera than it does on the figure itself when I'm just holding it in my hand. So don't let pictures really discourage you. He really is a nice, really nice representation of Bumblebee. One last quick comparison. If you've got any of the previous alternatives, here he is size-wise compared to them. Optimus Prime's actually sitting a little further back, but if you have them side by side, and a lot of it too is just the angle I've got the camera at here, because I've got the camera set up a little higher than them. But if we bring it down a little bit, you'll see Optimus is a little bit. Optimus and Megatron are both, maybe a quarter of an inch taller than Bumblebee. Actually, maybe more of an eighth. They're not a lot taller than Bumblebee, but their heads are just a little bit higher than Bumblebee's head crest there. Just to get an idea. But there you have it, Transformers Alternity AO3 Bumblebee.